Hey, what up fam, it's Peyton here, and today I wanted to help you all stand out amongst your peers, coworkers, bosses, future employers in this digital age / remote work culture that we live in. How we're going to do this is to help you set up a mini home studio so you'll be looking and sounding great on Zoom, Teams, or anything that requires you to present yourself on camera. Also, you doing this shows your employer, clients, and possibly your future employer that you have tech skills, which is extremely marketable and the initiative to go beyond what is asked. This video will be broken down into 3 sections. The first, we'll be going over simple videography tips that will help you stand out right now for free. Second, I will tell you about a $10 app that will let you use your iPhone as a camera, which looks loads better than your Mac camera. Lastly, if you want to really stand out and make your image beautiful and sound amazing like this, for under $500, stick around. If you're thinking $500 is too much, I want to ask you this question. How badly do you want that job, client, or promotion? Are you really going to let $500 get in the way of that? Invest in yourself way before anyone will invest in you. That's what I believe. Let's get started. First up, I want to talk about what videographers do to have better images. They're simple to do and cost nothing. The first topic is composition. When it comes to setting up yourself as an authoritative figure or someone who knows what they're talking about, you want to be center frame. You don't want to be too right or too left. Also, you do not want to cut the top of your head off or your bottom. Set up your tripod and your iPhone in a way that you're centered and your eyes are level with the camera. Also, you want to have some space from the top of your head and the end of the frame. It looks really weird when your end of your head and your frame is really close to each other. Next tip is to create depth. You want to position yourself as far as you can away from the back wall. This helps your camera focus on you and blurs out that background, which gives that cinematic look. Speaking of the background though, you want it to be in a supporting role, not what's taking the most attention. What I mean by this is that you want to clean it up. Don't let the messiness of the room draw attention away from what you are saying or what you're looking like. But feel free to decorate it to fit your personality. It should amplify you, not distract from you. Okay. That's it when it comes to simple techniques that videographers use. If you like what I've taught so far, why don't you smash that like button? I would really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me. Let's move on to this app that lets you use your iPhone as a webcam. It is really amazing. But before I do, let me show you what it would look like if you use your camera from a MacBook instead of the app. Okay, this is an example of the camera that's coming out of the MacBook Pro. It's the same setup, same room. I'm placed in the same exact area as I would have if I put my iPhone as my web camera. So I just wanted to show you this before we get into the app. This is something I would like to say is trash. Okay, so you can solve this problem by using an app called Webcam Pro. It's $7.99, one-time purchase, and it lets you use your iPhone as a webcam. It's not affiliated. I don't have a specific link to give you. It's connected via Wi-Fi or cable, which the cable will give you the best speed with low latency. You have to buy a tripod if you don't have one already, but they're pretty cheap on Amazon, like the $10 to $15 range. Now let me show you this image. Now this is the image that you're seeing straight out of the iPhone. It is loads better than the MacBook camera that you just saw. This is a little bit skewed, but just to make results the same as the MacBook, it's only fair that I do have my light and also my microphone, just so you can tell the difference between just the images. All right, let's move on. So if you incorporate this app with the techniques I've taught you, it will make you stand out for sure. Before I move on to the big setup, I do want to say all this equipment and making yourself look good and standing out is nothing if you can't bond with the other person on the other side of the screen. If you want to learn how to do that, head over to binge-learn.com and watch this free course on how to bond with people. It's really amazing, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. All right, let's move on. For the people that are really serious and are willing to invest in themselves to achieve an image and a sound that will make you stand out heads and shoulders above everyone else, this section is for you. First, let me show you the image you can achieve using your iPhone and the equipment I will recommend you buy. Okay, this is what you can achieve with just a simple $500 setup using your iPhone, a lighting setup, as well as some audio. I'll show you how much audio plays a difference as well as some of the lighting, but I'm telling you right now, just imagine this for a second, that you are interviewing for a potential job across the United States or across the world, and you're not able to make that meeting in person. Now you're going on to Skype, Teams, Zooms to be able to do your interview. How you present yourself right here is your first impression. Just imagine that for a second, that you are showing up looking sharp as well as dressing sharp, also able to talk to people, you are going to land that job. Let's move on. So first things first, you need the app I just talked about, Webcam Pro. Next on the list, I would recommend a microphone. You might not think it's a big deal, but it makes a huge difference. Audio is half the experience. And let me show you an example of this right now. Okay, sorry to get back to this camera, but I also wanted to make a point. This is the typical setup that people usually use when it comes to Zoom meetings. They use the camera that's on board the MacBook as well as the microphone. The microphone just sounds a little bit more noisy and just a little bit more fuzz than using a Rode VideoMic NTG, or the one that I will recommend is the Blue Yeti standing mic. So let's get on with the video. Now this sounds really good and really crisp. And now I'm going to tell you the reason why I use the Rode VideoMic NTG, but I also will recommend something a little bit more different for you. The reason why I use the Rode VideoMic NTG versus other mics is because I use it for video shoots as well. And if you're not going to be a videographer, it seems a little overkill. The one I do recommend is the Blue Yeti standing mic. It plugs straight into your computer, unless of course you own a Mac. Seriously, like every single time. But I've used it in the past and it's amazing and produces a great quality sound. Lastly, you should also get a key light. The light right here is the Godot's newer SL60W. It's a phenomenal light. Only downside is that you'll have to buy a light stand and a softbox. The ones I recommend is the Lightstand newer stainless steel light stand and also the Laufus 90 centimeter softbox. The reason why I recommend that softbox is because it's collapsible and people like moving and stuff like that. If it's a temporary setup, I definitely recommend a softbox that you can tear down pretty easily. But I also warn you, it is big, so you need to have the room to be able to even set it up. If you want me to do a budget like $80 light that's pretty compact, let me know down in the comments below and I'll show you all how to make it. If you have any questions on like other alternative equipment too, please let me know. I'll be glad to be able to talk to it as much as I can. Last thing on equipment, choose audio before the light source. Audio is so important and also cheaper compared to the light and the light stand and the softbox. All right, so that is a wrap. If you applied all that I taught you and bought like a simple $8 app, you will look amazing. If you went over and beyond and bought a microphone too, you'll also sound amazing. But remember, good equipment can't cover up your ability to bond and care for the other person on the side of the screen. So head over to Binge Learn and watch that course. It's completely free and you'll be better for it. But before you go to that website, like, subscribe, and comment down below. As always though, I love you guys and I believe in you. Peace.